Parallel and perpendicular lines. Lines with the same gradient are parallel, and those lines that have gradients that multiply to -1, these are perpendicular. They meet at right angles. So here we've got two lines. Are they parallel? Have a look at the gradients. They both equal 2. What about 3y minus 6x equals 15? Is it parallel or not? It is also parallel. We need to check out the gradient. So we move the 6x to the other side of the equal sign and divide everything by 3, and we see that the gradient is also equal to 2. Let's just check what they look like on a graph. So there's y equals 2x plus 6, crosses the y-axis 6, has a gradient of 2. The next line crosses the y-axis at -3 with a gradient of 2, and the last one crosses at -5 with a gradient of 2. All these lines are parallel. If we've got these two lines, we've got to check, are they parallel, perpendicular, or are they neither of those? So let's have a look at the gradients. In fact, for most questions, it is the gradient that you need to find first. So the gradient of line A equals -2x. You've got to put it in the form of y equals mx plus c. We see the gradient of A equals -2. The gradient of B is a half, and check, do these make -1 when you multiply? Yes, they do, therefore they are perpendicular. Here we've got a question where we're asked to find the gradient or the equation of the line perpendicular to y equals 4x plus 2, which passes through the point 4,2. We'll identify the gradient of the current line and identify the gradient of the perpendicular line. Notice that little upside down T represents perpendicular. And that equals -1/4. Now how did I know it equaled to -1/4? We take the -1 and we divide it by the gradient of the line given, and it gives us -1/4. And then you can check -1/4 times 4 equals -1. So we've got the formula y equals mx plus c. We put the gradient in first, and we use the point -2, 4. We change side, change sign, and we find that c equals -1. So the equation of the line is y equals -4x minus 1. Now if we were to graph those, or make a statement, it is perpendicular to the line y equals 4x plus 1 and passes through the point 4, -2. If we were to graph those two, this is what they would look like, and we would see that those have a 90-degree angle between them, so they are perpendicular. For most questions, you find the gradient first.